free, and enjoy more of what the world has to offer in this action one, because this is where most human beings screw the pooch.
So a little one-person trampoline. Very,
I screen shared it. Like, there's no excuse. Like, phone numbers are just out there. You just got to pick up the phone, smile, and dial. So. Good morning, and welcome back to another episode of the Talk to Terran Morning Show, where we go over tips, tricks, ideas, and exercises to help make you the absolute best entrepreneur you can be, not only for yourself, but for the people you love and care about most. Good morning, everyone. We have a fun episode. Thanks for tuning in this morning. Good morning. We have a fun episode talking about time under tension. Time under tension. I think this phrase is most often referenced in the fitness community, most often referenced in working out, in the physical tension of your muscles. So what would this be? I kind of had like a rough definition over here on my screen. Good morning to you all. So go ahead and share my screen. So time under tension refers to the amount of time a muscle is held under tension or strain during an exercise set. During TUT workouts, you lengthen each phase of the movement to make your sets longer. The idea is that this forces your muscles to work harder and optimizes the muscular strength, endurance, and growth. So for some reason, I'm going to go ahead and knock off my screen. I gave myself a little bit of my own twist onto time under tension, and maybe a lot of other coaches use this, or I'd like to hope that the principle and the understanding of what we're trying to drive home today is very clear. We're trying to give more time to the things that we want to develop, to the things that we want to get good at. We want to give more time and understand that as we get better at things, we tend to desire them more. I want you to think of things that you're naturally good at. You probably naturally do it. Think of things that you are not good at. You probably feel them very frustrated. You feel a lot of friction in wanting to get them done. And I think there's this bit of an epidemic going on with that. People believe they need to be really good at something in order to get started on it, in order to dive deeper on it, in order to get better at it. And that is definitely not the case. It is, for me personally, there's a list of tasks that I wrote out in the description that we'll go over this morning on the show, that I found them really frustrating because I sucked at them at first, but I really believe that they can make, that I want to get better at them, that I want to implement them and have them around in my life. And so instead of worrying so much about being as good as that other guy and comparing myself to others, or worrying about a bunch of other stuff that doesn't matter, or even the frustration of being in the initial phase. I think phase one of working out, phase one of writing, phase one of business development, phase one of creating relationships that'll actually support you to your goals, all of these are going to be heavy friction based, or we're just not going to, you don't know what you don't know. And it's going to be tough to combat this up front. So if we can I've been having a lot of success. I can only speak from personal experience with the things that I feel like I really suck at, but I genuinely want to get better at. I just started recording the times behind it. And then I realized, okay, the definition of being an expert at something is if you've given like 10,000 hours. They didn't really talk about, when I was doing my research on it, they didn't talk so much about like being at a certain skill level. They just talked about time that was truly committed to the task. So maybe we can just take this principle and then we can feel as we breathe, because we're meditating 1 minute a day at least, right, folks? Right? So we take a moment to just breathe and relax and forgive ourselves and give us permission to suck at something right off the bat. Man, I'm sure everyone deals with this in their own way, but so you can probably relate, but just when I suck at something, it's so frustrating to me. And it's like, man, I really want to get better at this. Man, I don't know what I'm doing. This feels impossible. And I heard from an instructor. It was actually a piano instructor because I'm trying to learn the piano, and they were saying if when you start to feel very confused, when it starts to feel hard, when it starts to not make sense, like you are learning, like you are genuinely making like new connections in your brain. There's something about brain examples that always get me fired up, like, oh yeah, the brain's 93% water, so you should drink a lot of fluids. And I'm like, hell yeah, amen. Or if they're like, if it starts to feel frustrating, you're literally making new connections in your brain. I'm sure you can think back to your days in school when you're trying to learn something new and maybe writing or whatever the class would maybe, and you're like, man, I don't know how to do this. This is really hard. This is really frustrating. That's literally your brain making connections, trying to create new pathways for short-term, long-term memory. Maybe it's in like different parts of like the hippocampus, which is related to memory, or lots of different. I'm definitely not a pro on the brain, and I'm not sure. I'm excited for more science to come out to help us learn and discover on that kind of stuff. I am definitely a novice, but the whole point of that would be to start getting ourselves time under tension then. Time under tension. So this morning, today's challenge is to think of one task, one idea, one action item that I could start recording the time on that I'm sucking at. I'm going to give a few examples, so hopefully this can be a little helpful. My first example would be writing. I used to write, I was writing a certain amount of words. If I had to do a certain amount of words, then I'd be okay with that. But some days I was just getting so frustrated because some days I would pump out like 1,000 words like that in an hour, hour and a half, just boom, go, done, ready to move on with the next thing for the day. And then sometimes I would just like a monkey just sit there drooling, and I can't get a single word out of my head. I'm like, oh, I don't want to talk about this. Oh, I don't know what I'm saying. This doesn't make any sense. Nobody's going to read this. I suck. I'm stupid. All of these horrible things to say about yourself, which you got to be your own cheerleader, right? You like, Tanner, you're doing great. You're doing good. I've switched it over to just putting an hour in, and then if I want to stop, if I don't want to stop because I'm trying to like unfold a point, then I let myself keep going. That's fine. And I just, okay, I'm running with it. But if I'm feeling really frustrated, I'm sit there and I'm working on it and I'm giving my intentions for an hour, and then I'm cool with just giving it 60 minutes, because I believe if I give it at least an hour every single day for the rest of my life, there's a high chance I'm going to be a damn good writer. I don't do this as often with piano because I don't want to jack my wrists up, and I'm sure there's a lot of piano experts who will be like, "Oh, your form's just trash." You're probably right, but I don't want to I don't want to overdo it too much. I do love the piano a lot already, but I don't want to absolutely overdo it because I do have to type a lot for writing and yada yada, and I do like these rock climbing exercises, so I'm not trying to over. I only do it 4 times a week, 4 times a week, and I do it for like half an hour. That's not even that much, but I've noticed that when I've been keeping track and I've been staying on track with the every other day method, it's more like that than, yeah, just every other day. been getting some really good results, just really consistent. And the frustration, which I think is the one of probably the biggest deterrent when it comes to doing anything consistently, fades away. I'm like, oh, I want to do this. And then I see myself get better. And I think everyone wants validation and progress towards what it is that they're doing and they're completing. And then as you start getting some of that feedback back, like with an instrument, you can clearly hear if it sounds better. In the beginning, my poor girlfriend was hearing me chop away at it and is like, wow, that sounds clanky and like crap. And then now it sounds a little bit better. And I can hear it, she can hear it. And it's like, okay, cool. That makes me feel good. Or so we have that. Next would be, oddly enough, golfing. I'm trying to get better at golfing. So just yesterday, I'm like, okay, I'm going to give 20 minutes. I'm going to give 20 minutes to just taking swings at practice balls in the yard. 20 minutes. And then I went out there and I did it for 20 minutes. And my swing was, I was making better contact with the ball. Follow through was better. Hips, swing, eyeing the ball, right? And then just after 20 minutes, I'm like, oh, that wasn't even that bad. I did pretty good at that. And then we have the last one would be more tied towards work. And this is sales calls. Sales calls. This is the one of the things that I put under time under tension is I think communicating my message for my company and what it is that I do for people and how we make insane change with your health, wealth, and relationships can be really difficult. And especially when people are telling you no. So I get on these meetings and these calls with people and I record how long I'm selling. How long am I selling myself, my brand, my company, my education system, my process? How long am I actually selling that? And if I can get around an hour a day, I feel really good about that. I feel like I've gotten better. I feel like I have a better message. I'm literally changing. If you've been a fan of this show or you've been keeping up with their content, it's like, it's insane to me how much the content continually changes. And this could be a shot at me originally not knowing what I was doing, but I think it's also just external proof that everything changes, everything evolves, everything grows when you give it real time, focus, and energy. Because the questions that I was giving my clients have changed to today because my ability to understand or to support them has changed. So everything about it's going to consistently change. That is the only constant that we have come to know, is that everything consistently changes. And the most valuable asset that we possibly possess is time. We also understand that becoming an expert at anything is time under tension, time given to this, time dedicated to this. So I want to ask you, what will you be working on today? What do you want to give some time under tension for? What do you want to get better? What can you start recording just 20 minutes a day towards? Maybe 10 minutes a day. Could it be reading? Could it be picking up that new book that's inspiring you to a message that you really like? Could it be fitness? You just want to work out hard for 10 minutes. Everyone, you gotta have fitness as your base. I can't stress that enough. Hire a personal trainer if you don't know what you're doing, or look at reach out to me. I have some friends who know a whole bunch about the fitness industry, and I'd love to make a connection. You gotta have your fitness on point, and that I stress that because so many people really struggle with that. Maybe you really want to write. Maybe you really want to learn an instrument. What it is that you want to learn. Time is going to tick anyway. It's May 11th. It's May 11th. And once the sun goes down, poof, gone. The day is gone, and then we're a day older. And it's like, what do you want to spend your time doing? Is it watching TV shows? Do you actually give a shit about those characters or what they're doing on there? Or do you want to live the role yourself? I'm trying to live the role, baby. Like, I'm trying to do this stuff. I want to play beautiful instruments And I want to be able to not look like a jackass when I go golf with some of my buddies. And I enjoy the game, so I want to learn it. I've never played it much before in my life, so I should have played in high school instead of just sitting around getting crazy with my friends. But hindsight's 2020, right? And growing this company, I truly believe is the ticket for myself and my family to do whatever the hell we want, whenever the hell we want, wherever the hell we want, and help people simultaneously. That is my definition of success. Now it's time for you to figure out your definition of success. What does that include? What time are you going to have to put towards certain tasks? So, and if you need support on your professional, on your personal journey, you talk to Tanner. This is actually a shirt that got made recently. I'm excited. We're going to start doing a lot more merchandise. So, got a flex on the back. So, if you're one of my best friends, you'll be getting one of these first T-shirts. We'll be having more merchandise and hats and stuff like that as the show continues to evolve and grow, and I try to continue to build my brand. But maybe that's what you want to do. Maybe you want to start making some merchandise for an idea that you have in business. Time under tension, putting in the time will make us experts, will make us better, will make us more excited, and it's wild. As you get better at this kind of stuff, you just naturally want to do it more. It's just that phase one can be very, very difficult. So cheers to that. That's all I have this morning. I got to bounce. I got back-to-back meetings after this, one with a group and then an individual session. So it should be a fun Thursday. Really excited for the weekend. One of my best friends is coming to town, so get to kick it with him and have a good time with him and his family. Other than that, you guys be on the lookout. Remember, we have an interview tomorrow morning coming out, an interview with Megan Nee. She is a marketing and graphic design top G. She's pretty incredible. Worked with a big company for a decade, taken all these skills and then built her entrepreneur business. Now she's taking on some new clients. So we'll have a bunch of shout outs for her. That interview goes live tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. So make sure to tune in for that interview with Megan tomorrow morning. It's a banger. It's a good one. You all have an amazing, amazing day. Cheers to all. And in case you needed to hear it, I love you. Have a great day. And go out, get some time under tension on a skill or a task that you want to improve. Thanks, friends, and I'll catch you on the next one. See you tomorrow morning with the interview with the graphic designer and marketing expert, Megan Nee. Cheers, friends. Peace. Oot. Have a good day.